Hang on. Boa noite. Good evening, everybody. My name is David Schott. I'm the Senior Vice President for the UFC. And I just want to start off by saying a fantastic night. Thank you to the city of Sao Paulo. Thank you to our fans. I thought it was a tremendous evening. The attendance was 10,265 for a sellout here in Sao Paulo, our third sellout of 2017. Performance of the night goes to performance bonuses go to Munoz and Brunson, and the fight of the night goes to Dos Santos and Griffin. I thought it was a tremendous night, barring for the Brazilian fans, the co-main and main event. Brazilians went, 9 for 12 with some great performances, and the crowd was early, was loud early, and very active over the course of the night, and I thought it was a fantastic event. I'd like to open up to questions to the media and anyone in attendance.
Hi, David. Queria saber primeiro o que achou do terceiro evento em São Paulo, no Ibirapuera, e da reação da torcida com o Colby.
And the reaction of the crowd to Colby Covington. What do you have to say?
I mean, overall, I think the fan reactions throughout the course of the night were fantastic generally. Brazilian fans are obviously very intelligent, very knowledgeable about the sport, very scrutinizing. And generally it was loud and energetic and boisterous the whole time. In terms of the fan reactions with Covington fighting, there's no way for us to support any fans throwing items at any staff or any fighters. However, having said that, we are taking the situation with Covington very seriously. It's already being reviewed by our Code of Conduct committee. And it's something that we are not very happy about.
David, you mentioned that you're going to review the situation. Are you going to review Colby's comments towards the Brazilians? And is he up to maybe getting punished, like Fabrício Verdun was recently for his comments to Tony Ferguson?
Yeah, that's what we're going to review. For a few of us this evening that weren't very happy with that, and it'll be reviewed. It's not for me to say at this point what could possibly happen, but we'll be reviewing it over the course of the weekend and
Brazilian fighters ended 2017 without wins on the headlines of the events here in Brazil. Do you believe that this will make like a negative impact of UFC here in Brazil?
Sorry, can you repeat the question, please?
Brazilian fighters ended without wins at UFC Brazilian events here. Belfort against Gaston, Aldo Holloway, and now Machida against Brunson. Do you believe that this will make a negative impact for UFC here in Brazil?
I need a bit of help with the question. I couldn't really understand you. Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Do you think that the fact that Brazilians didn't win the main event in the co-main, does that have a negative effect for the UFC in Brazil?
I mean, listen, it's obviously disappointing for fans when some of the beloved stars don't win. I mean, I understand that. I don't think that has a negative effect overall. I mean, if you think about some of the performances from some of the younger and more up-and-coming athletes that we are going to continue to support over the next couple of years, I think Brazilian fans have a lot to be optimistic about. I think Brazilian fans have a lot to be sort of thankful for. We've been working really hard on this. I'm not sure if you've seen some of the work that Big Nog has been doing with some of our younger fighters. The work around communications, work with fighters on their own personal brands, and also teaching them how to become successful stars. And so I think there is again a lot to be optimistic for in the future. Brazilian athletes. If you look at the performances from people like Marcelo Dom, and even Munoz was fantastic tonight. So I think there's a lot to look forward to.
Ainda sobre o caso do Colby
Still about Colby Covington.
Muitas vezes se promove
A lot of times the fight is promoted and that's part of it before the fight. And afterwards the fighter usually has a different posture. What kind of punishments are possible for the athlete? And have you talked to him after this fight? Has he explained anything to you?
No, I haven't spoken to him after the fight. I know he's been working with or dealing with our PR team, and that's fine. In terms of the punishments that are possible, this is actually a relatively new territory for us. I mean, take a look at Brunson and his post-fight. I mean, very respectful, and was immediately over to Lyoto to see how he was doing. So for us, we've got to go back and look at it. It's just not something we're proud of. And it's not something our investment and our support of the Brazilian fans, Brazilian athletes, and the Brazilian market is steadfast and will continue. And I think, in our opinion, it's just something that is uncalled for and inappropriate.
The next event in Brazil was recently announced for Belém on February 3rd. I guess I just wanted to hear from you the expectations for Brazil next year overall. Do we have an idea of how many events we can expect, and for the one we already have in Belém?
So today we announced that we'll be in Belém February 3rd. We know that there is rich history, rich tradition of MMA in the north. We know that a lot of our athletes come from the area. We've already had several athletes campaigning to get on that card, which is exciting and makes it great for us to promote. In terms of 2018, we've got a lot of exciting plans. I think generally the event plan will largely mirror what we've done in 2017. We're looking to have 3 events in Brazil. We are also looking for innovative ways to try to figure out how we can bring more events to the region next year. We've done some interesting things in 2017. We hope to replicate those in 2018. And we'll have more information on that in the next little while. I think the other interesting thing about South and Latin America is that we're looking to other countries to come to. I think there's a real possibility for us to continue to grow the sport and the brand in countries outside of Brazil. Always looking at Chile and Argentina, some other countries as well. So I think over the next couple months we'll have more to report, but we're definitely very bullish on the region.
One thing I guess is just that has always been pointed as a problem is that logistics can be a challenge when you're venturing into other markets in Brazil. So how has that been with Belém? Are you guys comfortable with what you guys have there in terms of just logistics?
Yeah, I mean, logistics. I mean, this is sort of what we do. Whether we're having an event, in Auckland or in Shanghai or in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. I mean, there's lots of places that we go to, and we're never scared off by places that are maybe just a bit out of the way, or not cities. Population north of 20 million people. So for us, I think we do this stuff in our sleep, and there's a real reason for us to go, right? I mean, our business plan is to continue to connect with fans in a variety of places around the world with our content, with our athletes, and with our live events. And we'd be remiss if we didn't hit great cities like Belém with our sport. And it would be contradictory to what we're trying to do to build our sport. You guys were here tonight, you saw and felt the energy of the event itself. Yeah, it's one thing if we've got our sport on TV or we've got our sport being distributed digitally, but if we don't bring live events to great cities, then we're going to fall short on our goals.
Nessa semana a gente teve evento da USADA para os
This week we had a USADA event for the Brazilian fighters.
Eu queria que você avaliasse essa ação.
I wanted you to evaluate that action. Where did that come? That initiative, was that solicited by the athletes, or is that something the organization realized was necessary to happen to reduce the doping cases?
That's a good question. So I guess the genesis of it is that athlete health and safety first and foremost is a massive priority for us, and we've had lots of conversations over the years on how do we make sure that the USADA program is administered in the most successful way possible. We've got different strategies for different regions. And I go back to Minotauro, back to Big Nog, and his interest in ensuring that, you know, our athletes in Brazil have a pathway to excellence. They understand what it takes to become a successful star in the UFC. But part of that is communication, and communication around how to use the USADA app the best way as possible. How to, you know, make sure that they're aware of the issues of contaminated substances. So I actually think it's a really fantastic initiative. It's something that we're probably going to replicate in a variety of different areas, but it shows you the importance of having a guy like Big Nog to communicate to the fighters. You know, if I was doing it, it may not be as successful, but to have a guy with such a, you know, rich and accomplished history in the UFC and being such a good ambassador for our sport and for our brand, it's sort of it's the perfect formula, really.
Here. This is more of a broad question, not really about tonight. So I was wondering, because during the last couple of years, we've seen more and more fighters who become free agents, not really signing back with the UFC, and not just the ones who get cut. So are there any concerns from the UFC's part regarding that issue? And are there any measures you'd be planning to take on that?
Oh, I mean, listen, the athletes, fighters they've got to make their own choices. And if you get a fighter, you know, like a Rory McDonald or a Gegard Mousasi, and they feel like they've run their course in the UFC, we're going to do our best to re-sign and to ensure that the best possible fighters are competing for our promotion. I mean, that's what we do. But if fighters want to make a decision that, you know, maybe they don't want to be in the spotlight as much, maybe they've got a more compelling financial offer. But we've got to make these decisions that are, you know, best for our business. Listen, is it sad to see a guy like Rory McDonald go, who had such, you know, incredible fight? I mean, his 2 fights against Robbie Lawler, you know, were some of the best, I think, in UFC history. But fighters have to make their own decisions, and if they've got, you know, everyone's got their own decision criteria, right? It might be family related, they might, you know, not want to, again, be in the spotlight anymore, and it might be financially related. So again, we're going to do our best to make sure the best athletes compete for us, and if we've got athletes that want to go elsewhere, then that's so, you know, so be it. Great, thanks everybody. Have a good night.
Pedro, aqui, sua esquerda. Aqui.
Pedro,
Parabéns
first of all, congratulations for this great win. There is some commentary about the submission that you held it a little too long on top of Rob. First of all, do you think that did you take too long to let him go? Or what do you think that was for? Do you think you have a tendency to hold the chokes so you don't run the risk of the guy tapping and then saying he didn't tap? What do you think happened?
Boa noite, Minotauro.
Good evening.
Primeiramente a todos. Ali, na verdade, ali foi
Actually, right there,
eu não imaginei que ele
I didn't imagine that it locked in from the beginning. And when he rolled and I was on top of him with the guillotine, it wasn't adjusted to the way that I usually have it. And when he tapped, I thought that he was trying to get out. because it was very fast, and I usually adjusted a little bit more. It wasn't bad intention to hold the guillotine, and right after the fight, I apologized to my opponent because we're all professionals here, and our intention is never to hurt anyone. And in reality, it wasn't something, it was unexpected that he tapped so fast, but I think the reason was because it was right there.
Pedro, queria que você fizesse uma avaliação da
luta.
Você começou a luta atrás até que você conseguiu se recuperar.
From behind and then
qual que era a estratégia e de que forma você acha que você conseguiu virar esse jogo? Foi uma brecha que você viu?
Did you see an opening?
Na verdade, não acho.
In reality, I don't think that I started the fight losing. I was studying his distance.
Ele acertou alguns golpes.
He landed some strikes, just like I did. I looked for a takedown in the beginning.
Me acertou com o dedo.
He hit me with his finger close to my nose and my eyes, and it kind of bothered me. And I kind of felt his pressure. I adapted myself to his distance. And when I was able to measure my distance, I was able to impose my rhythm. And the fight ended the way you saw.
Agora você tem 4 vitórias
Now you have
consecutivas
4
na
straight wins
categoria.
in this division.
Você espera enfrentar algum
Do you
top
expect
10?
to fight
Você
a
acha
top
que
10
você já merece
opponent?
top 10?
Do you think you deserve a
Tem algum nome
top
que
10
você
opponent?
gostaria
Is there anyone that
de enfrentar
you'd
agora?
like to mention?
Na verdade, minha primeira luta
In
no
reality,
UFC,
my first fight in the UFC,
eu entrei, teve lutador que se machucou, eu entrei
a fighter was injured and I came in with 1 week's notice. I fought Rafael Assunção, who was number 3,
foi minha primeira derrota na
and
minha
it was
carreira
my first
profissional,
loss
foi
in
uma
my
luta bem
professional
dura.
career. It was a
Então,
tough
assim, eu tive
fight.
experiência já
So I'm experienced
em lutar assim, com os atletas
in
assim,
fighting
ranqueados.
ranked opponents.
E também em 2015 aqui
And
eu lutei
in
com o Jimmy
2015,
Rivera,
I
foi uma
fought
luta
Jimmy
bem dura,
Rivera, which was a very tough
qual
fight,
eu por decisão
in which I lost
dividida.
by
Eu
split
achei que eu tinha
decision.
ganho aquela luta.
I thought I won
E
that
hoje em
fight.
dia ele vai ter uma
And
vai
nowadays,
lutar,
he's gonna fight
daqui alguns meses com
in a few
com o
months
Dominic Cruz. Eu
with
acredito
Dominic
que o
Cruz.
campeão dessa luta será o próximo pelo título.
And I
Então, eu
think
já
the
tô
next,
ali,
the
já batendo
winner of
na
that
porta
fight will
faz
be next
tempo
for the
dos
title.
melhores da
I think I've
categoria.
been close to the
Hoje
best in the
eu
division.
derrotei o Robbie Fong, que ele é o número
Today,
13,
I
atleta bem duro.
defeated Robbie Fon, who was number 13, a very tough athlete.
8 ou 7 knockouts na carreira dele.
He has 7 or 8 knockouts in his career.
E tinha cartel igual o meu, 14-2.
And he had a good
Então,
record like mine,
assim,
14-2.
quem o UFC decidir que eu lute,
So whoever the UFC
eu vou
decides
estar
I
preparado
need to
pra
fight,
lutar.
I'll be
Na
prepared
verdade,
to
assim,
fight.
não tenho nenhum nome em mente
There's
agora.
no name in
Eu estava
mind.
totalmente focado
I
para
was
essa
totally
luta
focused for this fight,
de hoje.
for tonight.
E eu sempre penso assim,
And I always
passo
think
cada vez, eu nunca penso muito lá na
one step at
frente.
a time. I
Eu
don't
sempre
think
foco
too much
assim no
ahead.
próximo
I
step.
focus on my next step.
E hoje eu saí vitorioso.
And tonight I was
E
victorious.
agora mais pra frente eu vou
And now
pensar no qual atleta.
I'm going to think of
ou tá
which athlete,
disponível para qualquer
and I'll be
luta que o
available
UFC
for
se
any
interessar.
fight that the UFC is interested in.
Tudo bem, Pedro? Parabéns pela performance,
Pedro,
primeiramente.
congratulations on your
Em
performance.
termos da sua preparação,
In terms
né, o
of
seu
your
camp,
preparation, your
você
camp,
costuma fazer ele
you
fora
usually
com a tua equipe,
do
e
it
você sendo de São
abroad
Paulo,
with
quando você
your
vem pra
team.
cá, você costuma aproveitar
When you come
teu
to Sao
tempo
Paulo,
também,
do you
treinar com uma
enjoy your
galera das
time here? Do
antigas?
you
Como é que
train
você
with
costuma
old
trabalhar isso?
teammates?
Eu venho há 7 anos e meio morando nos Estados Unidos.
I've lived in the U.S. for 7.5 years.
Em fevereiro desse ano eu mudei o meu camp para American Top
In
Team.
February of this year, I moved my camp to
E
American
foi
Top
algo
Team,
assim muito bom assim
and
na
it
minha
was something
carreira.
that was very good for my career.
Bastante atletas do meu peso,
Many
assim.
athletes in my
E
weight
pra mim é
class.
sempre uma felicidade,
For
sempre
me,
uma honra a mais estar aqui na
I'm
minha
always
cidade
happy,
natal, em São
honored
Paulo.
to fight here in my hometown of São Paulo.
Nasci e morei aqui minha vida
I
inteira.
was born and I lived here
Estudei
my whole
aqui.
life. I went to
Meus
school
familiares
here.
moram aqui, inclusive
My
estavam
family
hoje na plateia.
lives here. They were here tonight.
Foi bem empolgante, foi
It was
bem,
very exciting,
foi bem legal
very cool
ter visto a presença deles.
to have their presence here tonight.
E eu tô planejando,
And I'm planning
pro ano que vem vir pra
for
cá,
next year
pra
to
poder
come
assim
here,
ficar pouquinho mais tempo,
to be
pra
able to
poder
spend a little
rever
bit more
galera
time, to
no
be able to
qual
see
eu comecei a
the
treinar,
people who I
amigos,
started training
enfim,
with,
que
my
às vezes
friends,
é importante assim ter essa base.
It's important to have that base, and I miss that
Mas
sometimes.
eu tenho minha família,
But I have my
tenho minha família
family.
nos Estados Unidos.
I have my family in the
E
U.S.
então esse é dos motivos
So
que eu não fico
those
muito
are one
tempo
of the
aqui.
reasons why I don't stay here too long.
Pedro, parabéns pela vitória.
Congratulations on your
ganhando o
win.
bônus de performance da noite,
You
né?
won
Queria
a
saber
performance
quais
bonus.
são os planos que você tem já para
What
esse
plans do you
dinheiro?
have for that money?
Fiquei sabendo agora há pouco, tinha
I just found out that I won the bonus.
Uma felicidade bem grande.
I'm very happy about that.
É o terceiro bônus.
It's my third bonus.
É o terceiro bônus
It's the third bonus
4 lutas.
in my last
Então,
4
assim,
fights.
isso também assim me mostra também
That also
quanto eu
shows
sou,
me
tipo assim, atleta
how
exciting, assim,
I'm
que
an
vai lá, faz
exciting athlete who
trabalho
goes
e
in there and
ganha
does
performance.
the job and gets a good performance.
Através dos bônus que eu ganhei no UFC,
Through the
eu tive a
bonuses
felicidade
I've won in the
de
UFC, I've
comprar minha família,
been
a
happy.
minha casa nos Estados
I was
Unidos.
able to buy my house in the United States for my
agora,
family.
assim, não tenho nenhum
And right
plano,
now
assim.
I don't have any plans.
A sua equipe tinha vários atletas no evento de hoje.
Your team
e a
had many
maioria venceu, se
athletes
não me engano, todo
fighting
mundo
tonight.
venceu.
Everyone won.
Só que a noite terminou com
But the
Colby
night
Covington
ended with
vencendo
Colby
o Daniel,
Covington beating
fazendo
Damian,
comentários um pouco
but
ruins, digamos
with
assim,
bad
sobre os
commentary
brasileiros, né? Queria
about
sua opinião, você como
Brazilians.
companheiro de
I
equipe
wanted
dele,
your opinion as a
sobre
teammate
as coisas que ele falou
about the
hoje.
things that he
Na
said
verdade,
tonight.
o Colby,
In reality, Colby,
ele é uma pessoa assim, ele é bem polêmico, né? Como nós conhecemos aí no mundo da luta, do MMA.
we know a lot
nós
of people
Conor
in
McGregor, que é
MMA. We have
exemplo
Conor
desse.
McGregor.
E eu acho que as pessoas hoje elas
And I
gostaram do
think
barulho que o
nowadays
Conor McGregor
people,
faz,
they like
se
the noise that Conor
fazendo
McGregor
polêmica,
does,
falando e
talking
viram que
a
as
lot.
coisas dão certo, então
And they
eles
see
estão
that
fazendo,
things
né? O
work out
Colby,
when you do
na
that.
verdade, ele é um cara
Colby, in reality,
que eu vejo na
is
academia sempre.
I see him at the gym all the time.
Nunca tive nenhum problema com
I
ele,
never
a
had
gente
any
treina
problems
junto,
with
a gente
him. We train
conversa.
together, we
Pra
talk.
mim, assim, ele é um cara bem gente boa.
He's a nice guy to
Eu
me.
acho que é mais
I think
aquela
it's
parte da polêmica
more
mesmo, assim,
about
de vender a
promoting
imagem,
and selling
e
himself,
ele tá conseguindo.
and he's able to do that.
Obrigado, galera.
Thank you, everyone.
Alô. Obrigado, pessoal.
Thank you, everyone.
First
of all, I wanted to know, how do you analyze the result?
Você trocou pouco mais do que você costuma
trocar. Do you think you exchanged a little bit more than you used to?
As provocações do Kobe teriam talvez entrado na sua cabeça, ou você já veio planejando mesmo trocar com ele?
Or did you plan on exchanging punches with him?
A gente estava pronto para dois planos.
No, we were prepared for two plans.
Logo a queda ou trocar e
or take him down right ahead,
no primeiro round meu irmão começou a entrar.
Fill out the fight. My hands were landing. I could see that he felt it.
Vi que ele começou a se cortar, começou a sentir.
I saw that he was feeling it, and I got a little excited about knocking him out.
E não consegui.
And I wasn't able to.
Essa excitação,
I think the excitement and the adrenaline of wanting to knock out kind of drained me. And in the second round, I tried to take down too much, and it was worse. I think that if I continued the same game plan from the first round, I would maybe have done better. I think that first round I was able to land a few hands. I was close to. He felt my hands. It's what I noticed from inside. When he started circling, he felt the jabs and crosses. And then he came back in the second and third, especially in the second when I tried to take him down and I wasn't able to. I got tired. He was also tired, but he was able to recover.
Tem dado que surgiu depois ali da sua luta que nas últimas duas
Something
lutas
came up
parece
after
que você
fight,
tentou 33
in your
quedas,
last two
alguma coisa
fights
assim,
you tried
e não
about
conseguiu
33 takedowns
Você acha
and
que,
you
de
weren't able to get any. Do you think that
todo mundo já sabe que
everyone knows that
a sua especialidade é o
your
jiu-jitsu,
specialty is jiu-jitsu, you're going to try to take the fight to the ground? Do you think the way that you're trying the takedowns is already known by your opponents?
Deveria de repente procurar outros métodos?
Do you think you should find different methods? We've been looking for that, for different methods. I had problems taking Woodley down, and we changed a lot of things. But we also have to remember that I fought against two great wrestlers in my last two fights, Woodley and Colby. He's an All-American from Oregon University. And for sure, I fought against three guys from American Top Team in the last three fights. And people start mapping your game plan and they study, so it gets harder. And I tried to change, but in this fight, I saw a different first round. I was touching him with the jab, and I was able to connect my hands and in the right timing, but there's nothing to say. He was able to turn the game in the second and third round.
Boa noite. Você tem mais uma luta no contrato.
You have one more fight in your UFC contract. I wanted to know what are your next steps. I didn't even know about that.
Você pretende, enfim, próximo passo então seu, próximo.
What's your next step, your next fight?
Eu vou dar a resposta padrão, não sei.
I'm going to give you the standard answer. I don't know.
Na verdade, eu tô falando que eu não sabia, eu não tô brincando. Na verdade, eu nem olho o
playing. I don't know. I don't even look at the contract. Of course, I look at it, but I don't remember how many fights I have left. My manager told me recently about that, but I didn't even remember. I only have one fight left. My goal is to keep on fighting. It's a very tough sport. MMA is a tough sport. I was thinking about that this week. I've been in the UFC for 10 years, and every time it's an emotional roller coaster. It's something that if you've never been in it, you'll never understand.
Difícil de você conseguir viver isso em qualquer profissão.
It's hard for you to live that in any professional.
Principalmente
So
mentalmente,
it takes a lot on you psychologically.
Mas,
Physically, I feel very well.
Eu não sei se eu vou
But I
lutar
don't
mais
know
do que 2
if
anos
I'm.
ou algo
I don't know if I'm
assim,
going to fight
entendeu?
another 2 years or something like
começo a
that.
me encaminhar para uma transição já.
I start taking myself to a transition.
Oi, Damian. Bom, como você mesmo frisou, né, o Kobe é
Like you
wrestler
said,
de primeira
Colby is
categoria,
a first
condecorado
class
nos Estados Unidos
wrestler.
e tal. Ali no meio do octógono, a impressão dava que ele estava muito esperto mesmo com as suas entradas.
We had was that he was aware of your
Você chegou a
takedowns.
contemplar a ideia
Did you
daquela queda
contemplate the
mais na
idea
grade?
of
Você
taking him
faz
down
muito
against the
bem,
cage that you do very well?
E ele não te deu oportunidade.
And didn't
E
give
também
you
se
the
os low
opportunity.
kicks dele
And
na
if
perna
his
da
low
frente
kicks
tiraram
on
essa
your
pujança
front
também
leg
de
did
direto
that
para queda
take
nas pernas.
that away
A
from you.
parte da grade
the part of the cage, you're very correct. It's what we talked about after and during the fight. My trainer said to push him against the fence because he's going to have a hard time defending the takedowns against the fence. But he did a good job circling. I think in the first round I was able to get him against the cage, but I wasn't able to take him down. I think I had tactical problems. All my takedowns were in the center, and that was a mistake. I blame myself for that. We trained that. We know that. And you're right about that.
Não, com certeza seria melhor.
For sure, it would be better if I had pushed him against the fence for the takedowns, because I was able to jab him and get away from his cross. So I wasn't in danger on my feet. The dangers I had were when he was trying for the takedowns. He was able to defend and hold his hand, and he'd come back and push me. So I think those were his best moments. And the kicks to the lead leg, I was warm, so it could be something that affected me. I feel it now. I feel my legs right now because I cooled down. At the time, I didn't feel it, but it might have gotten in my way.
Demian, o que você achou da postura
What
do
did you
teu
think
adversário
of your
depois da luta,
opponent's
né?
posture
Continuou
after the fight?
polemizando, o
He
público jogou
was still
coisas.
saying a lot of things, and the fans were throwing things. I didn't even pay attention. What he said to me was, since the beginning, during the week, he said he respected me a lot, and he was promoting the fight, and that was his way of promoting. He told me I'm a legend, and he admires me, and he only does that for promoting. Obviously, it's not my style. I don't like that style, but I don't judge him. I think he's free to do whatever he wants to promote. What matters is that he was respectful. He was correct to come and talk to me, so there's no problem.
Demian, algumas perguntas atrás você disse que já estaria em uma fase de transição. Eu gostaria que você explicasse pouco melhor o que é essa fase de transição. Se já pensa em alguma coisa
Are you thinking of something outside of the UFC?
Bom, já faz mais ou menos ano que eu venho
pensando
em algumas coisas.
About 1 year that I've been thinking about some things. I intend on fighting for another year or two.
Mas eu já começando
I'm already starting to give a bigger importance to different things in my career, which are my gyms, my affiliate gyms, in Brazil and abroad, seminars. And I have a project with the UFC that we're going to do. We already had the documentary that we did, but it's something else, something really cool. I don't think I can talk about it. It's a television project. And that type of thing. I think the affiliate gyms, the seminars, and the media things that I want to invest on.
Você me permite mais uma? Se você consegue a vitória hoje, muito provavelmente você estava no caminho de novo para segundo title shot. Com esses seus projetos, essas transições que você disse, esse tempo ficaria curto para você voltar para essa fila de novo e tentar de novo o título?
Eu estou falando tudo isso.
In reality, I'm saying all that.
Que eu quero fazer essa transição, mas
I want to transition,
enquanto eu decidir continuar lutando nesse
as long as I'm still fighting this year and a half or two,
minha dedicação vai ser total.
My dedication will be 100%. I dedicate myself 100% to the camp. I let go of everything else. I'm never going to come in to the fight without being fully prepared. It was a war, so there's no way for me to go in there more or less. It's very risky for your physical integrity to go in there not fully committed. And I'm always going to go in there in my best shape, like tonight. He was better than I, but we fought till the end. We were both cut. That's a fight. You can't go in there not fully committed. And when I have a fight coming up, I work a little bit on the other projects, but I try to take care of everything. I wanted to know, how did the loss to Woodley influence you in this fight? Were you pressured to win at home? The loss to Woodley made me want to accept this fight quickly to fight in Sao Paulo. Maybe I should have waited a little bit longer. But even the Woodley fight, when they offered a month before, we didn't know if we would accept it or not because we didn't have much time. But I told my team that, and everyone agreed with me. We talked, and it was an opportunity we might never have again. I'm 39 years old. And if that opportunity passed by, they were going to have somebody fight Woodley anyway, Masvidal or another fighter. It could have changed everything, and I would never have that opportunity again. So I'd rather take the opportunity. I ended up losing that fight, but those are choices we make. We can't predict the future.
A referência hoje em termos de promoção de luta no UFC.
The reference about promoting fights, the standard today is Conor McGregor. I think a lot of times people try to imitate him and they go too far. They cross a line from promoting to disrespectful. I think so.
Sou lutador, mas em geral os lutadores não são as pessoas mais esclarecidas no mundo.
I think sometimes the fighters aren't very clear on things, and even myself, I'm a fighter. A lot of fighters make mistakes about working their image and how they market themselves. I think there's a way of promoting yourself like McGregor with intelligence like Sonnen used to do. But I think it's a fine line between destructing your image or building your image in the long run. I think people are thinking short term. And besides that, McGregor's style is risky because as long as you're winning, it's fine. When you lose, you're going to be remembered. It's like Sonnen. He was a very tough fighter. He almost beat Anderson at his height. And I see a lot of friends of mine who don't follow fighting. And they used to say, Sonnen just talks, and he's not that good, because he created that image that he talked a lot. Sonnen, to me, he's a great athlete, but he created that image so much for himself that people don't think he's that good. They just think he talks. So I think it's a risk you run to when you do that.
Pessoal, obrigado pelos
Thank you, everyone.
Espero estar aí com vocês
and I hope to be back.
Conheço vários de vocês aqui.
I know a lot of you here tonight. I respect your work a lot.
Alguns aqui são amigos de muitos anos.
Some of you are my friends for many years. Congratulations on your work. Congratulations for covering the sport for so long and loving the sport. Thank you.
Derek, here. Wait, here. Okay. Amazing performance, congratulations. Did you expect such a quick fight? You know, like you knock out, you defeated Lyoto Machida by knockout in the first round. Did you expect such a quick finish?
No, Machida's been fighting a long time, and he's one of those guys who don't have a lot of holes in his game. If you have a less experienced fighter, like a lot of the guys that's ranked under me who are younger fighters, I feel I can dismantle them, you know, take them down. But I see Lyoto was very ready for the takedowns. I saw a lot of his training videos, a lot of his open workouts, and he's been around for a while and been in a big fight. So I wasn't expecting a quick finish. I was kind of like, you know, I was going to take my time. We would have came out here to Brazil, and it would have went the distance, and I would have lost the decision. You know, I just had to live with it, but I was definitely going to fight my fight.
And in the post-fight interview, you mentioned Luke Rockhold. Is that a real wish for you up next?
Yeah, for sure. Why not? Luke Rockhold is 1 or 2 in the division. I'm sure the media have a lot to say about Machida coming back, you know, saying maybe, you know, he lost a little bit, but I don't buy into that. He's the same guy. He does the same thing he's been doing his whole career. He's just able to get out of the way most of the time, but this time he wasn't.
We talked a little bit about this before, and you mentioned that you weren't really that concerned about the atmosphere and being like the villain here and things like that. But once you got here, how was just really we saw how it was in the arena. It was very intense. Just how was overall the experience for you?
It was great. It's funny because I said, I think Kobe helped me out a lot. He was being such a rude boy that the crowd was like, hey, we'll give this guy a fair shake. But I like Brazil. Brazil's a beautiful country. I went to Fortaleza once, and it was right by the beach, so that was really cool. I was supposed to fight then. My opponent got in an accident, so I just ate seafood the whole time. And it's pretty cheap, so I loved it. But it was a great experience. The crowd supported their fighter. I expect them to do nothing less, but like I said, they can't jump in the octagon and fight, so it didn't matter.
You did mention that maybe after Kobe they would give you a fair shake, and really we got really different reactions. Even I guess before he was saying all the things that he said, obviously he called us like filthy animals or whatever. And then when you knocked out Machida, it was like dead silent. Was that surprising to you at all?
No, funny enough, I have a weird career. I take weird fights. I do weird things. But early on in my career, I started off 4-0, and I had all knockouts in the first round. So nobody in North Carolina wanted to fight me, so I had to go to other people's territory and fight them. I fought in Florida, I fought in Rhode Island, and it was all in the person's backyard. And I was able to get like a 15-second finish over a guy who was pretty good, and the whole crowd was silent. So I'm kind of used to that feeling after you know, go to someone home and get a first-round finish.
You talked about Luke Rockhold, but at the same time, and this is also something you've talked about before, it's a difficult division to even like assess where you're at and what you're gonna do next, considering all the variables. Considering what you just did, you just knocked out Machida in his hometown. You know, in these conditions, the guy was an ex-champ, but then you have all the other variables. He was coming off a long layoff. How is he placed in the division? So really, where does this win put you in the UFC's middleweight division?
You know, funny, I like the reporters to talk about what it actually is. You look at Lyoto. His last fight, he lost to Romero. Close fight, up until Romero was able to take him down and get the finish. Very close fight. The fight before that, I don't know who did he fight? Maybe Chris before that? And then
Rockhold.
Rockhold, right, yeah, Rockhold was able to get him, and before that he fought Mousasi, and I believe he beat Mousasi 3-0, and Mousasi beat Chris Ryman right before he left the UFC. So, like I said, people might lose a little bit of timing and speed, but the skill set is always going to be there. Like, I think Machida can wake up when he's 50 and still hit the same katas and throw the crazy kicks. I watched him in open workouts, and he looked pretty impressive.
But then at the same time, you talked about the skills and how he could have lost a little bit of his timing and a little bit of just his control of the cage and things like that. And then, but also that's a big part of his skill set, don't you think, in terms of his style?
I think, funny enough, he's like I fought a guy similar. Well, I fought Anderson, and Anderson's really tricky. And I fought a guy also, Uriah Hall, who's similar to Lyoto. Lyoto. They're both karate style, and they both pull a lot. So he does the same things that I noticed in his tape. He's one of the guys, it's hard to reach him with the punches, but it's easier with the kicks. And he always try to blitz you with the straight left, and I was able to slip the straight left and catch him with a hook, which he's been doing that his whole career. He'll blitz you with a straight left, but I was able to counter.
You called out Rockhold after the fight. What aspects of this matchup interesting you the most? You called out Rockhold after the fight. What aspects of this matchup interests you the most?
He's a top-level guy. You know, he's 1 or 2 in the division. I think it'd be a great matchup, you know. I think I could put hands on him, touch that chin one time. I could put him down also.
Do you think a win over him would put you in a position to fight for the title next?
Oh yeah, for sure. A win over Rockhold would definitely get me next in the title shot. I mean, the media sleeps on me a lot, but what I've done in the UFC, what I've done over my career, a lot of crazy. I mean, I had a controversial decision over Anderson. You know, let's say I get that win, that takes away a loss. Romero, I was beating him 2 rounds to 0. I was dominating the whole fight. He was able to catch me with a punch with about a minute left. If I would have just danced around for a minute, I would have got that win, you know. There's several fights in my career. You know, Whitaker, I touched him a lot. He touched me a lot. You know, I rocked him. He rocked me. He was able to get the win if I would have slowed down a little bit. So I definitely had a crazy career, but I'm starting to put it together and starting to, you know, take my time and know that I can really do some damage if I just slow down just a little bit.
Were you already planning on calling him out, or seeing DC in front of you reminded you of him and you called him out?
Yeah, you know, I wasn't planning on calling Rockhold out. I didn't have anybody in mind. It just kind of came to me at the last minute, and I was like, okay, that'll be a good guy to fight next.
Boa noite, parabéns pela vitória.
Good evening, congrats on your win.
O Anderson Silva vencendo na
Anderson
China.
Silva winning in
Pode ser
China.
cogitada uma nova luta com ele para
Do you
limpar
consider
o
another
card,
fight
da
with him
derrota, ou já é
to
passada essa
receive
derrota
that,
para o Anderson,
or
que você
are you
mesmo
past
disse
that?
que acreditou ter vencido?
You believe you won.
Yeah, I grew up watching Anderson Silva. It's funny, every time I make a reference to that fight, the fans will definitely remind me that Anderson is their favorite fighter and not me. They'll be like, hey, get over it. So, you know, I've had 2 first-round finishes since that fight. I definitely know that I won that fight, but it's done and it's gone. So I guess it's time to move on, you know. It's time to really start working my way down to the top, you know. In the rankings, yeah, let me jump them and then we'll forget about it, because definitely, you know, a performance like that against a guy like Lyoto, I think, you know, should deserve to jump a couple people.